It started with a small gesture, quiet, almost invisible. No palace announcement, no grand ceremony, no cameras waiting outside Buckingham Palace. And yet, by the end of the day, people across Britain were in tears. Because on what would have been Princess Diana's 65th birthday, something happened that no one saw coming. And it wasn't Prince William's appearance in Scotland that caught everyone off guard. It was Princess Charlotte. A single move, a deeply personal one. And suddenly, people began asking the same question. Is Diana's legacy now living through a new generation? But before that moment unfolded, there was something else happening behind the scenes. Something Prince William had been planning for months, and the timing was no accident. Because July 1st has always carried a strange weight inside the royal family. For the public, it's a day of remembrance. For William, it's personal. Painfully personal. This year, Diana would have turned 65. And while many expected flowers, speeches, or some official tribute, William did something very different. He disappeared into Aberdeen. Not for celebration. Not for royal pageantry. But for work. Real work. On June 30th, just hours before Diana's birthday, William arrived at a housing project connected to Homewards, the homelessness initiative he launched through the Royal Foundation. At first glance, it seemed routine. A prince visiting a charity. Another royal engagement. But then the footage came out. And people noticed something unusual. There was William carrying chairs. Lifting boxes. Unpacking household supplies. Helping arrange welcome packages for people who had just been given homes. No polished gloves, no staged photo op feel. Just William, sleeves rolled up, doing the kind of work Diana once made sure he understood. And that's where this story gets heavier. Because homelessness wasn't just another cause for Diana. It was one of the closest to her heart. Back when William and Prince Harry were children, Diana would take them to shelters. Not for publicity. Not to teach royal protocol. But to expose them to reality. She wanted them to see people society often ignored. She wanted them to understand suffering. And according to William himself, those visits stayed with him forever. Years later, he admitted those childhood moments shaped how he sees the world. That they changed him. And now, standing inside those homes in Aberdeen, it felt less like a royal visit. And more like a son finishing something his mother started. William posted a simple phrase afterward. A home to come back to. Just 6 words. But for many royal watchers, it hit harder than any speech. Because those words carried layers. At home. Something Diana lost emotionally long before she lost her title. And something William has spent years trying to rebuild for himself, for his family, and now for others. But then, just as the public began focusing on William's tribute, another detail surfaced. And it shifted everything. Because later that evening, insiders revealed that Princess Charlotte had quietly insisted on doing something that stunned palace staff. Not a speech, not a public appearance, but a private act of remembrance. According to reports circulating among royal insiders, Charlotte asked to place flowers beside a portrait of Diana inside the family's private quarters. And not just any flowers. Forget-me-nots. Diana's favourite. That detail stopped people cold. Because Charlotte never met her grandmother. She knows Diana only through stories. Through photos. Through William. And yet somehow, at just a young age, she seems to understand the emotional gravity Diana still holds. That's the twist nobody expected. Because for years, people have wondered whether Diana's connection to the monarchy would fade with time. Instead, it may be deepening. Through Charlotte. And this isn't the first time people have noticed it. Royal observers have pointed out her uncanny similarities to Diana before, the expressions, the empathy, even the confidence in public. But this moment felt different. More intimate. More deliberate. And some inside the palace say William has made a conscious effort to keep Diana's memory alive for all 3 of his children. He speaks about her, shares stories, shows them the humanity she fought for. And there's another layer here most people miss. William's homelessness project Homewards isn't just symbolic. It's ambitious. Its goal is to prove homelessness can actually be ended. Not managed. Ended. That's a bold promise. Especially in Britain's current housing crisis. Critics say it's too idealistic. Supporters call it revolutionary. But either way, it mirrors Diana's style perfectly. She never believed in surface-level charity. She believed in getting close enough to the problem to feel it. And William seems to be following that exact blueprint. That's why this birthday tribute mattered. It wasn't about nostalgia. It was about continuation. A direct line from Diana to William, and now maybe even to Charlotte. And for a royal family constantly battling headlines, scandals, fractures, and public skepticism, this was something rare. Something unifying. Even critics found themselves moved. Because in a family built on tradition, this felt deeply human. No crowns. No thrones. Just memory. Service. And grief that never really left. The haunting part. Diana has now been gone nearly 3 decades. And somehow, her influence still shapes the future of the monarchy more than many who are still inside it. That says something. Maybe everything. And as Charlotte grows older, many are beginning to wonder. Is she simply carrying Diana's memory? Or is she becoming the part of the royal story Diana never got to finish?